Hi everyone, I'm Josephine Renee, author and artist, and with the Book Bell's guidance, I thought I'd talk first about some of my favourite books of all time. I know it's like picking a favourite child, but whenever I'm asked, I always go with The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, which is also why I love the Clockwork Readers booktube as well, which is amazing. They're all brilliant. But anyway, yeah, so it's a young adult urban paranormal fantasy romance set in 1878 London, and I love it because before this book I'd read books, but I'd never binge read books. I'd never fallen in love with a character so much that, you know, I decorate my locker space with his beautiful, beautiful face. But yeah, so it was grade 7 and I remember our family went on this holiday and I could not tell you where we went because I just had my nose stuck in these books the whole time. And it was amazing, and yes, I fell in love with William Herondale. He's my bae. I love William. He's so good. And ever since, I have been looking for a black-haired Welsh boy with the tattoo of a dragon on his bum. Yeah, pretty much. It's ruined my life. It's also really funny, I had a few friends as well. The main protagonist of my YA fantasy novel is called Kit Huntsman. And I remember telling my best friend that and she was like, Kit Huntsman, Will Herondale. And yes, the name was fairly inspired by Will. And then I've also had friends go like, the other protagonist is Phaedra, and they go, Phaedra, Fairy, I think it might be, from A Court and Thorns of Roses, but I've never actually read A Court and Thorns of Roses, so if I should, let me know. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's also kind of funny, I read this in grade 7, which is over 10 years ago now, and I didn't want to reread it because, you know, now I've got so much experience. I'm, you know, writing, creative writing at QUT. I've read so much more widely and I love books, and this got me into that. But I was worried that if I reread it, it wouldn't live up to how amazing I had it in my soul, and it wouldn't live up to everything that I loved about it. So recently, I've gotten over that fear and I've started rereading them again, and oh my gosh, just look at this. Every single page is highlighted in pink. It's just everything about this book is amazing, and it keeps drawing me in every single time. And it's so good. It lives up to it. I love it. I can't believe I haven't reread them 5 times by now. And I also find it so interesting that it inspired me so much within my own writing and my own creative endeavours. It's been 10 years since I've read it, but with rereading it now, I'm like, I know where I stole that metaphor from, and I know where I get my own prose from. I remember reading them when they were these covers, but in the bigger forms at the school library, and now they've got these gorgeous covers, and I'm slowly collecting them all. And then there's also the comics, the manga, if you guys are interested. It's really interesting because Cassandra Clare's prose in these are beautiful. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. And usually I have a complaint with her that, you know, for a modern day setting, the immortal instruments, you don't have to describe every single blade of grass to me. Like, I get it. Like, we can skip, we can move on to the actual story. But with this, because it's set in, you know, 1878, you want all those details about the dresses and the world, because it is so different to what we have. But her prose are beautiful. But when you start reading the manga, where it's just the dialogue, you start noticing how amazing the dialogue is too, and that it's all just done so well, and you can appreciate the nuances in the dialogue and things like that you don't really you don't usually focus on within the novel. But it's beautiful. And then, the anniversary edition is so good. and all the artwork. Like Tessa looks beautiful. And where's Will? Where's Will? Gabriel, yeah, okay. Will. Other, just absolute favourite of mine would have to be Saga. It's a beautiful. Saga by Bryan K. Vaughan and illustrated by Fiona Staples. It is so good, it's so amazing. It's a graphic novel. And the word for it would be unafraid. I worked in a bookshop for a while, Buccalo Books in Yamundi. It's an independent bookstore, and I remember I bought it because I could get a discount and everything like that. But my boss called me that, it's arrived, it's in and everything like that. She was sort of like, well, this is a big book, like I might just open it up and have a look and see what she's reading. It was about Diana. She opened it to the, I want to show you, but I don't think I should show you. And when I was recording this before, that was the moment that it stopped recording. So I think it's cursed. But she opened it to the point where the troll, it's this massive troll, and they're about to get squashed by its bits, basically, that are just hanging out. Yeah, and that's like at the beginning. So there's a lot, and there's so much. And then she tried to open it to other pages, and it got even worse. But yeah, and I know I've been looking for this moment online, because I know I saw it there, but I can't find it again, and now I think I'm just making it up. I think I am. But I remember Neil Gaiman talking about Bryan K. Vaughan, and that he came up to him one day and he was like, I'm doing all this stuff, I've got Why the Last Man and like all the other things that he was working on, and he was doing so much work. Like, for being so young, he was just absolutely amazing. And he was like, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong, like I'm doing everything I can. And Neil was like, you're not doing anything wrong. Everything within your writing and comic and the work that you're doing, like, you're working really hard. But he hadn't found the audience for his work yet. And Neil's advice was, what you're lacking is life experience. That's what your work is in need of, that it needs these rich human moments that really allows people to connect to it. And that's why I think Saga has done so well, and that's what Saga is. Because I tried to read his last stuff and it wasn't for me, but Saga is just filled with these rich human moments, and it's so amazing. Like, there's this moment with Heist, which is an author within the work, and there's so many points too where it's just insane. But anyway, there's this moment here where Heist is reading a children's book to Hazel. Also, like, the characters within this are insane. The whole story is narrated by Hazel later on, obviously, but she's narrating her life as a child, and it's all about her parents and her parents' love for each other and just wanting to keep their child safe within this war that they're from different sides of, the Wings and Horns. And it's crazy. Like, it's so good, and it puts that family saga really into it. And it's this incredible epic space opera fantasy comic series, and it's so good. But anyway, Hazel's getting read this story, and Raymond E. Feist says, all good children's stories are the same. Young creature breaks rules, has incredible adventure, then returns home with the knowledge that aforementioned rules are there for a reason. Of course, the actual message to the careful reader is, break rules as often as you can, because who the hell doesn't want to have an adventure? And it's just full of moments like that, like these little critiques of the world and these exciting moments that have and portray the human experience. It's so well done. Now for the Spellman Files by Lisa Lutz. They are so good. They're just they're basically my guilty pleasure, and I can't stop reading them, apart from the fact that I want the pretty covers. That's the only thing that's kept me from just devouring all of them straight up. That I have to find the ones with the gorgeous covers first. I mean, look at it. It's so good. It's done so well. It suits the book perfectly. Like, this is the front, and then that's the back. Ooh. And it's all the book blurb is within the coat jacket, and even the sides of the spine where the jacket just intercepts. It's done so well, and it is perfect for the story and genre and everything. It's such good, funny stuff. It follows this family of private investigators, which is basically all you need to know. It's hilarious. Like, imagine if your whole family was PIs. Yeah. And it just, the pure shenanigans that they get up to is absolutely wild. I'm actually starting to see a trend here in my work that I love families or found families. So if you have any suggestions that follow those kind of lines, I'm sure I will eat it up. Now to discuss another one of my favorites, Haikyu. I love it so much. I know this probably doesn't fall into the favorite books, but I don't care. I love it so much. It's so good. And I don't know, you can't really see my shrine to it, but I'll make you see it later. I had a friend once tell me that it's just a bunch of autists hyper-focusing on one thing, and I do feel that the tism is strong with these ones. But that's also why I love it. Like, they are just obsessed with volleyball. It is the only thing that they do, and because of that, it makes me just love them so much more, because that is all they care about. That is all they're trying to do and work on and work so hard on. And I get that, and it inspires me so much with my own reading and writing, because that's all I want to do. You know, like, if this little orange fuck can do it, so can we. You know? And I love Kageyama too. He just reminds me of so many people that I know who are so smart, yet so dumb. Like, they do that so well. Like, we all know them. The person that gets, you know, OP1 or whatever equivalent ATAR it is now, but then, like, just the life stuff that they don't quite comprehend. Also, what would I be doing if I didn't say Avatar: The Last Airbender? I think it's everyone's favourite. It's so good. It was our childhoods. It was there for us. It's taught us so much. Zuko has the absolute best redemption arc, I think, ever. And just the characters they're the best. They're the best. Fight me. I don't know. And then the comics, all the books that happen afterwards, I so recommend them. Just do them. Just get it done. They're so good. Oh, like, just, they're so amazing, and you just get those extra bits with the characters that I love. And Korra too. Like, Korra and Asami, and the fact that it's actually fucking canon. Come on. Bless. It's so amazing. So it is. Oh. They are just, I love them so much. I love them so much. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Just get it. It's amazing. The reason I sort of got back into it was one day my little sister came up to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I just watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was amazing. And I was like, yes. And then she was like, I was like, yeah, the animation is so beautiful and stuff like that. She was like, what are you talking about? It's just done with people. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's just a movie. This is terrible. It's the worst thing ever. And I sat her down, I made her watch the original series, and she liked the remake, you know? She loved the original series. It was so good, and she agreed that the remake is fucking trash. There's nothing I dislike more, I think. It's so bad, and I don't know how to feel about the new one. We shall wait and see. But yeah, and so I just got into it again with her, and it was amazing. I love her so much. She's so funny, and it probably isn't the place for it either, but Miraculous, Ladybug, and Chat Noir, so good. It's such a brilliant TV show, and my little sister and I were watching it together, and I got to watch a couple, like the new season in Paris and everything. But it's so good, and my little sister and I loved it so much that we ended up sitting down and watching, like, because people on YouTube were just posting the French, but like with English subtitles within it, and just random people, and they have their own little annotations, and we'd have to stop it and add our own. Oh, it was so good, and it was such a time. But yeah, I love it. It's brilliant. I also really love webtoons, and webtoons is a webcomic online platform. There are some webtoons I will never get over, and they will stay with me forever. And they were sort of what got me back into reading again after high school. I was so done with books and everything, and then I started reading comics, and I loved it. And whenever I have a reading slump, that is always what I return to. At the moment, if I have to just pick one right now, I would have to say Eleceed by Jeho and illustrated by ZHENA is so amazing. And I mostly love it because my best friend and I weekly will send each other messages of like, have you seen the new update? This is what you should like prepare for, or we'll have a little discussion about what's happened in it. And I love that. It's so good. It's so connecting to the people in your lives. And Girls of the Wilds was also brilliant, by the same author or artist. I'm not quite sure anymore, but it's so good. Anyway, that's sort of me for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to have a look at this and have these discussions with me. I'd love your support with like subscribing or commenting or letting a friend know or liking it. I'd really appreciate that. And you've supported me. I'd love to do the same for you. If there's any way that I can support you, even if you have a question about something or would like to talk further or anything, I'm really happy to do that, and I'm really happy to have that sort of moment. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this and being here for me. Thank you.